Hello and welcome to this video tutorial in which we are going to fly from Barcelona El Prat Airport to Marseille Provence Airport. We are going to fly the airport codes. ICAO codes are LEDL to LFML, and we are going to fly with a very interesting aircraft. And by the way, a free aircraft. I don't know if I am spelling well or not the name. It's an interesting aircraft created by Stefan Buom, and of course it's a free aircraft for X-plane. Okay, you know, I like to put some warning information, some safety information, and the safety information I put in all my video tutorials is that, of course, this is a video tutorial for a simulator, and of course you do not have to try this in the real life, especially if you are trying to learn how to pilot a real aircraft. Okay, the flight we are going to tackle, it's an instrumental flight. We will proceed finally with an ILS landing, which is instrumental landing. Okay, that is basically that the aircraft will do everything itself, will align with the runway itself, and will descend itself. We will see that later on. And well, this is basically what we will do. We will be describing every single thing inside. We will try to be as accurate as possible. Okay, remembering that speeds and features and several things, of course, can be completely different to real aircraft. So never try this in real life. Okay, and I tell that because sometimes people that are trying to studying to become a pilot write me and ask me those things. You will find also in this video tutorial that you will find text in Spanish and in English. So the only you have to do is following the English test that you can see there in yellow, and you can of course ignore the Spanish text. Okay, I have been showing you the glass zone, which are the screen zones inside the cockpit, and also the pedals, okay, that are controlling the yaw. And the good thing of X-plane is you can move freely inside the aircraft, which is really amazing. You have total freedom to move inside the aircraft, even to walk outside the aircraft. So it is completely outstanding. And well, we are in the rear. Okay, we have the door open, and one thing we will do right now is to take a look to the airport chart. And right now we are in the Terminal 2, parking 14 from ramp 1. Okay, and also I will be showing you the frequencies in the order we will have to tune them. We will have to tune the clearance frequency, the ground frequency, and finally the tower frequency. And although you will have to find or to check out this information more accurately when you are consulting your charts, but well, basically that is the idea. And if we go back to the cockpit, and you can see the dome there, it's very early in the morning. Those things you're listening right now, that you can see the green text there, is the air traffic. Okay, so basically when you see that X-plane is talking to you, you will see the test in yellow, and I am meaning to the test of the ATC, not the test. I am writing the subtitles, okay, to explain you things. Okay, in the left side you can find the electrical zone of the aircraft. So what we will do right now is to proceed with the engines start. And one thing we will do right now is, of course, having electricity. Without electricity we cannot start the engine, so we have to start the battery, the left battery, the right battery, bat L, bat R, and then the avionics. Okay, when we do that, automatically we will have the screens on, and we will have the computers, let's say, of the aircraft working. And then we will continue inside the aircraft, taking a look to several things. One of the things we will do right now is taking a look, as I said, to different parts of the aircraft. That is one of the central screen. The central screen you can find, and of course, if we want to check out that we have electricity, and that is our button, electricity. So if we press it, we can see the status of the current electricity in our aircraft. Okay, and a very important thing we will do right now is to set up our transponder code. And our transponder code is a code that the ATC, the air traffic controller, will tell us. So the first we're going to do is to put our transponder in a standby position. Doing that, you can see in the screen, and then we will enter a code. Okay, we don't have that code right now, but we will receive that code later on when we talk with the ATC. So patience. Okay, and we continue doing things inside. We will continue taking a look to the central screen, and a very important thing, as you may know, is to set up the fuel. And to set up the fuel, I am showing you how to set up the fuel. You should go to aircraft, weight and fuel, and there you can put more or less fuel according to your needs. Okay, and that is a very important thing to know, because perhaps you would like to tackle flights that need more quantity of fuel, and of course you need to know how to set up the fuel. So you can see there, the screens are ugly as hell. I know that, I already know that, and I hope Laminate Research change this someday, please. So I hope they change that, but well, anyway, you know how to set up more fuel for the aircraft, which is a very important thing. Okay, and this aircraft, as you may know, provide you a lot of useful information. It's a very modern aircraft, it's a very beautiful aircraft. Okay, I know we will enjoy a lot flying it. And if we continue taking a look to the things, that part is the part that controls the lights. Normally, you know, in all aircrafts the lights are at the bottom of the panel, so basically it's the same as a Cessna, okay, but it's basically the same. So here you can see an exterior view with the doors open to allow people entering inside the aircraft, and we have the three main screens, as you may know. We will proceed with the checklist, and basically what we did right now is turning on the strobe lights, and there you can see we have the lights shining because of course we have electricity, and for that reason we had to turn on the batteries to have enough electricity to make the aircraft be able to start the engines, and also to all the computers be running, which will be completely necessary to introduce also our flight plan, and we will deal with that a bit later. Okay, and in which we will learn how to program the FMC, the flight management computer, and also other systems. A very important thing before starting the engines, take a look to the throttle, because you must have it in the idle position. If you don't have it in the idle position and you start the engines, you can kill someone there. So you have to have that in the idle position. And one kill thing we will do right now is to start with the GPU. The GPU is the ground power unit, okay, and is that orange artifact you can see there. Okay, that is to save batteries. So we have an exterior power unit, and I will be telling you what is that exactly. Is that thing that you see that that has the test jet go. Okay, so that is a GPU, a ground power unit, that is very useful because you can save batteries when you're starting your engine. So we have the GPU connected outside. Okay, and the next thing we are going to do or to deal with is to start the engines, which is quite easy, as easy as pressing two buttons. So it's basically very easy to do. And yes, in that thumb is the engines thumb, so the only you have to do is to start the left engine and then the right engine. And to do that we have to press the left button of your mouse, okay, and hold it a bit. So we will do a long click, let's say, and observe the N1 values, okay. Observe how the left engine has started, and we have a 33%, and we will do exactly the same with the right engine, okay. The same as we did, a long click, pressing the left click and the left button of your mouse and holding it a bit and then releasing it, and we are doing a long click and you will start your engine, okay. So right now we are starting the right engine, okay, and we will see again the N value growing up, and we will see basically a 33% in the N1 values for both engines, and that means we have the engines started. Okay, so now we have the engines started. We can see there in the left side a little warning with the generators, and we will deal with that very soon, because we will start the generators, the left and right generators. So now what we can do is to remove the ground power unit, because we don't need it already. And as you can see, and I was telling you, you can see the warning of the generator, and we have to start the generator. So we will start the left and right generators, okay, and the warning disappear, of course, okay. So right now we are configuring our aircraft to start to proceed with the taxi, and what we did is to set up the electrical systems and then automatically starting the engines, okay. And a very interesting thing I will be showing you right now is the local map, okay. As you can see, the local map is providing you very useful information, and I would like this local map had the option to be also global map. I don't know why Laminar Research didn't do that, because I find this extremely useful. But well, local map will show you local information about your local map, about the part, the zone in which you are. For example, we're in the Barcelona El Prat airport, and I will be showing you the 80s frequency, and we will have a little problem with the 80s, that because my computer is in Spanish and is using a Spanish voice, it will speak Spanglish, okay, and we will listen that, and I will be telling you I'm sorry, because I find that extremely funny. Okay, I will be showing you right now the GPS. Okay, when aircraft, one thing you have to remember for aircrafts is aircraft use two kind of frequencies: COM frequencies and NAV frequencies. COM frequencies are for people, to talk with other people, the controller, that is the COM frequency, and NAV frequencies are to navigate. For example, if you want to listen the meteorological information, you will have to tune in the COM frequencies, or if you want to talk with the controller, the COM frequency. And if you want to navigate with your aircraft, that is that the aircraft aligned to the runway, etc., then you will have to or select the frequency of a VOR, then you have to use NAV frequencies, okay. And in the frequencies you have you can see you have two frequencies, one in reserve or backup, and a frequency that is the active frequency. That frequency right now is the reserve frequency, okay, and we can switch it, we can move it up, and then it will be the active frequency. And when we press the button, well, I don't know if you see that now, you see that, okay, we put the frequency as active, okay. And a very important thing a very important information we will be gathering from the 80s, which is the meteorological information, will be the altimeter calibration. And I was telling you that thing of the Spanglish. I am very sorry, because the ATC, the ATC is very funny, because says things like runway instead of runway, okay, and that is because my computer is using the Spanish local language. So sorry for the Spanglish, okay. And I was telling you we had to, I hope, by the way, Laminar Research solved that, installing English, vernacular English voices, please. Laminar Research, do that, please, in the aircraft. So in foreign computers it will work. Okay, and the altimeter calibration is that thing you see there. If we move that wheel of barometer, okay, we can see different, we can find little differences in the altimeter calibration. And that thing you see of elevation, 14 feet, is a very interesting thing. Okay, when we think about altitude, we have to have in mind also elevation. It's not the same altitude as elevation. For example, if you're in the beach and you're touching the water of the beach with your fingers, with your hand, we will say you are to 0 feet. Okay, so you don't have altitude. But if you are in a mountain, for example, the Everest mountain, you will have the altitude of the mountain. We will say you have the elevation of the mountain. So if you have an airport in the water and close to the beach, to the shoreline, or to the beach shoreline, you will have 0 feet. But if that airport is placed in a mountain, you will have the elevation of the mountain. And that means that even if you are touching the ground with your fingers, you will say, I am at 0 feet, or to 0 feet, because I am touching the ground with my fingers. But no, you have the elevation of the mountain or the place you are. So when you are moving, I was showing you, by the way, that was my hand controlling the yaw, okay, of the aircraft. But the thing is that when you are entering, if you are in the beach, you will be at 0 feet or to 0 feet, and when you will be entering inside, and you move to a village, or you move to a city, or you are departing from the beach and entering inside, you will get elevation, and that elevation will go up or down according to the zone you are. Okay, so you can find also more information about elevation, altitude, on those things in Wikipedia. Okay. And one thing we are doing right now is testing the air and the flaps, and also testing the external systems as the yaw, etc. Okay, to check out the aircraft is working as compulsory before you start the flight, to check out the external system, yaw, flaps, etc. Okay, so we have to do that. Also, we will configure the flaps for the taxi and before to take off, but we will deal with that later on. Okay, and now we are doing that. We continue with the checklist. We are doing that by heart, by the way. We are starting with the exterior lights, taxi lights, and navigation lights. So we have also the strobe lights, taxi lights, and navigation lights on. Okay. Again, you can see an exterior view of the aircraft. Okay. That is the versatility that X-Plane has, because we can move freely, zoom it, we can do many things. Okay. So we are again back to the inside the cockpit, and we can take a look to the systems there, and now we have the lights configured properly. We will pressurize the cabin, okay, and that's very important if we don't want the people's ears explode. Okay, so I will give you a little rule, okay, for flights below 21,000 feet or 21,500 feet, okay, and that is to pressurize the cabin to those values you see, around 400, 500 feet plus the airport elevation. In this case will be 14 feet, but we're configuring it to the 530. That is cool. Okay, so we are pressurizing the cabin, and that is very important for the passengers' comfort. After doing that, after pressurizing the cabin, we will continue dealing with more stuff. For example, we will put the flaps to the TO position, takeoff position, which is absolutely necessary, and before we start the taxi. So basically we are configuring every single aspect of the aircraft to proceed in a responsible way for the taxi. Okay, and now If we continue taking a look to the systems, for example, we see the trim. Okay, and we have to put the trim also in the takeoff position. And what is the trim? Okay, you can take a look to this information also in Wikipedia, but normally when you reduce speed, you will use flaps. Okay, and when you apply flaps, your speed will reduce. I'm giving you a non-technical information, okay? Probably not accurate, but useful to understand. So when you apply flaps, the speed of your aircraft will reduce, and what will happen at that time is that the nose of your aircraft will go up, and what the trim will do is to correct the thing and move the nose down. Okay, so you can do those things with the trim. And if we press enter, we can file a flight plan. And a very important thing you have to remember, this is not to program the flight plan in your computer, in your aircraft computer. This is just to tell the ATC your flight intentions, okay, which is quite different. So the thing we are going to do is entering the ICAO codes for both airports, Barcelona, El Prat, the altitude, and also the arrival destination airport. And also we will be entering our flight plan. Okay, and our flight plan will be those things you see there, which are boards, NDVs, or fixes, or waypoints. And what is a waypoint? A waypoint is like a road, an invisible road in the air. Okay, so what we will be entering is that thing. That is our flight plan. You can see that in our road. Those are fixes, those are BORs, okay? And where do we gather that information? We gather that information in a website, because X-Plane don't have a flight plan assistant to gather up that information. So there are websites that provide you flight plans, and you only have to enter your departure airport and your destination airport, and you get that thing. You get the flight plan. Okay. And right now, what we will do right now is to program that flight plan in a very interesting thing, a very interesting artifact, a monochrome artifact that is called FMC, Flight Management Computer. An aircraft from the Atari age. That is in the early 80s, in the age of the first video games, and at the time the FMC was a tremendous technological achievement, but right now you can see a bit old-fashioned. Okay, so well, I know there are more modern systems as touch screen systems and very graphical systems, but we won't deal with that. Okay, we'll program the FMC, and the first thing we are going to do is to enter in the page 1, okay, and to start with our departure airport. In our case is the Barcelona El Prat airport, and if we press those little things, okay, we're going to move from several areas of the screen. We could set up also the flight altitude of every zone of our flight plan, but we won't do that because we will allow the ATC tell us the altitudes. Okay, but the first thing, as you can see, is to entering our flight plan with the departure airport, and the next thing we are going to do is to follow our flight plan. And because our flight plan go to a VOR, in this case the BZM VOR, we are entering the second part of our flight plan that will go to the VOR, to the BZM VOR. Okay, and the third thing, or the third part of our flight plan, as we said that already, or as we have seen that already, is a fix, and in this case is the lane there fix. Okay, we'll use later on the radiophonic alphabet or the NATO alphabet, but we won't deal with that right now. Okay, so the third part of our flight plan will be lambda, which is a fix. And what is a fix or waypoint? It's an invisible road in the air. Okay, I'm telling you also that information. And if the tests are going too fast for you, remember all videos have a pause button. Okay, so you can pause this every time you want. If you make an error, you can press the button CLR and you can clear all that information, and you can again enter in that information. So let's repeat again what we did, and we will go to land fix. So we press the fix button and then we enter lambda, okay, and you will see that in the screen. And if we take a look again to the flight plan, we can see the 3 pages to all the places we are going to, and then we'll move forward to the 4th page, okay, to continue entering more things of our flight plan. So the next thing we are going to do is to press next to move to page 4 and to continue entering the flight plan. And the next point of our flight plan is the VGR Bagur BOR, and we press next also to move forward, and we continue entering more things of our flight plan, and we will go to a fix, which is memes of fix, okay, and that is the 5th part of our flight plan. And then we will press fix because we will continue entering points of our flight plan, and we will go to DIPCO, okay, and after that we will press again next to move forward and continue entering things in our flight plan, and we will go to a VOR, which is the MTG Martigues VOR DME. We will explain later on what is a DME, distant measure equipment, and we'll press next, and finally what we have to enter is our arrival airport, and our arrival airport of course is Marseille, Provence. So we are entering the ICAO code, and here we go, and we have all that. We have programmed the FNC very easily, as you may know. So we depart from Barcelona Prat Airport, then we press next, and we will go to the VOR, the BCM VOR, which is Barcelona, or VOR DME, and we press next, and we will move to a waypoint, an invisible road in the air that is called Lambda, and then we'll move forward. Is segment 3 of the way. We will move forward and we'll go to VOR, the VGR VOR, Bagur VOR. Okay, I will explain later on what a VOR is. And then we'll move to a waypoint, invisible road in the air, a fixer waypoint, which is Memes, then DIPCO, okay, and then from DIPCO we will move to another VOR, which is MTG Martigues, and then we will finally arrive to our destination airport, which is Marseille, Provence, okay. So it's basically the FNC programming, and we are done. It's as easy as that. I know real FMC are more complex, because you can configure, you have to deal with other things. For example, if you are flying a path that need an inertial navigation system or things, but we won't deal with that right now, okay. It's very simple, and I like that because that make people don't feel fear when they are dealing with that artifact monochrome from the Atari era, okay, that I hope someday will be replaced for more modern systems as touch screen. In fact, I have seen systems in which you can put your finger in it and create your roads just using your fingers, like an iPad or an Android tablet, and that is very cool, okay. Okay, if we press the button map, we can get an information about our aircraft, and also you can see a new red line, a brand new red line. And what means that brand new red line? Well, that is our flight plan. You can see that there. And if I am pressing those things to the left side, I can add or remove useful information to us. For example, as waypoints close to us that are those triangles, or for example close VORs or close airports. So basically that screen is very useful for us because it's giving us very interesting information. The systems are very similar to the Boeing systems. I like the Boeing systems even more than Airbus systems. Okay, there's the PFD, the primary flight display. Okay, and now if we go again to the local map. If we go again to local map, we can see the Barcelona airport there. Okay, again, if we press in that point describing the airport, we can have interesting information we can know about close BOR, NDB fixes, also about frequencies, clearance frequencies, ground movement control, GMC frequencies, also tower frequencies, departure frequencies, approach frequencies.
November 01 X-ray, Papa, fly heading 200, descend and maintain 3000.
Frequencies, so
heading 200, down to 3000, November 01 X-ray, Papa.
And as I said, that is the air traffic control that you will be listening. And well, we will continue right now. So we will tune in the authorization frequency, the clearance frequency. And when we set up the clearance frequency, we will talk with the ATC. We put the frequency as active, and now if we that is reserved, okay, and if we press the button that is active, okay, we won't do that right now because we don't have the frequency active, because we have it in reserve. So if we press retro, we don't see anything. But if we put the frequency as active, and now you can see that as active, and we press enter, we found that little surprise, request clearance. So right now we can request clearance, okay. And if we press enter, we can request clearance.
November 31 Sierra Lima, cleared IFR to Lima, Foxtrot, Mike, Lima, as filed. Maintain 1000, squawk 4703.
We are telling the ATC that we are going to Marseille, Provence, LFML, and we will maintain, and the ATC is telling us to maintain
cleared IFR to Lima, Foxtrot, Mike, Lima, as filed. Maintain 1000, squawk 4703, November 31
and
Sierra,
that is the
Lima.
transponder code. And the transponder code is a very interesting thing, because that will identify our flight when we be flying. And the transponder code, for example, you can enter it there. Special codes, for example, if someone is kidnapping your aircraft, you can enter in a special code. If we have terrorists inside, I hope we don't have any. And also, if you have, for example, a failure, a navigation systems failure, a communication system failure, or engines failure, you can set up there also, okay. So right now what we will do is to set up also with that wheel, you can see there close to out button, the altitude. And then we have to select also the vertical speed, because if you don't select the vertical speed, that is the feet per minute that the aircraft will be ascending, if we have a positive number there or a negative number there, will be descending, positive number ascending. Okay, if we don't select the vertical speed, the aircraft won't go up or down. Remember that, okay? And the very interesting thing is to use the radiophonic, the NATO alphabet, because that is not glamour. Pilots is not using that to look more intelligent or stuff like that. It's just to make the communications clear, okay? So pilots normally use a NATO phonetic alphabet. And that is very interesting or important, because when you have communication, it's better to say M, Mike, N, November. If we say M, N, M, N, M, M, N, you don't know very well what we are saying. But if we say Mike, November, Mike, November, Mike, November, we find that more easy to understand, especially when you have a lot of noise at background and you have a lot of communication, you have things like this. It's very difficult to understand, okay? So now we are doing all those things. What we will do right now is the taxi, which we will start soon. Okay, so we will be releasing the parking brake soon. Okay, that is, as we said, and we have learned to program it, the FNC, flight management computer, monochrome artifact. I hope you replace soon for touch systems, like kind of tablet systems that I have seen, some of them very cool, especially in air shows. And I want to talk about brands of several brands that are creating these new systems, which are quite interesting. I hope we'll replace the FNC soon. And one thing we have to do, of course, is to close the door. Okay, so we will close the door and we will start with our flight soon. Okay, so again we have an exterior view, and remember we saw the dome there, and right now we have the sun hitting. because in March in Spain we have a lot of hot, okay. And in summer is the hell. So we have the sun there. It will be a very beautiful day, and this flight will be very beautiful because we will be flying through the coast, and that is very nice. For that reason, I like a lot to fly in the Barcelona area, okay, and also the glamour of the French Riviera. So we will have that, okay. And of course, as you can see, that aircraft blinking, that red aircraft blinking, that is our aircraft, that is our airport. And now we did that, we know we have there the ground movement control frequencies. We're selecting or tuning in the clearance frequency, and probably we will have to tune right now a ground movement control frequency or a tower frequency, okay. So the next thing we are going to do right now is to start with a taxi very soon. So you will see that right now. And we'll close the window, okay, to go back to the cockpit. If we press intro, we don't find right now anything, because what we'll have to do right now is the taxi, okay. And to the taxi, we will follow the yellow lines. We'll see that later on, okay. That is our GPS, okay. So we're tuning in the authorization frequency. We have to remember the frequency was 121.8, okay. So if we press enter, we will request taxi. That is the clearance, the authorization frequency. Now we ask for taxi, okay. And when we are asking for taxi, they will give us the departure runway, okay, which will be 02,
runway 2,
and the controller will give us proper instructions to proceed with the taxi, okay. And one thing you have to remember is that the numbers in the runway are not because they are cool or funny. It's because are luck numbers. Don't have anything to do with that. Numbers in runways are because they are giving you the runways heading, okay. That is very important. So 02 will be a runway, and 02 numbers for that runway will be that the runway has a heading of 020 degrees, okay. And that zone is the autopilot zone. We will deal with that later on. That is the flight director, very important. With the flight director we cannot proceed with the autopilot, okay. So flight director and autopilot are brothers, let's say. And we have an kind of hydraulic actuator, which is the jet damper, and we have also the indicator airspeed. We won't deal with that right now. Then we have navigation systems, okay, which will help us to follow our flight plan in the GPS. And then we have our heading, that you can select your own course, your own heading, and for that is that button, the heading. And if we move that wheel, we will see a kind of magenta line with a magenta marker moving, and that will be our own heading. We could select here a certain heading in certain degrees. Remember, your aircraft is a point that could move around 360 degrees, like in a circumference, in a circle. So you can move the heading to select a certain course to those 360 degrees, okay. So we will start the taxi right now, and the thing we will do is to follow the yellow line, okay. Also, when we arrive to Marseille, Provence, we won't deal with those things. We will do that as a real pilot, and we won't follow the yellow lines. We won't use that either. We will be dealing with real charts and landing and parking the aircraft with a real chart without additional help, okay. But right now we are starting with the taxi, and this will be a bit complex. We will following the yellow line, and also we will, and this is not necessary, but I like to do that even if that is not in the checklist. I would like to program 250 knots to remind me that that will be the speed we will maintain when we will be departing and taking off from the runway, okay. So you can see there the yellow line, and the yellow line is strange, okay. It is strange because the the X-plane algorithm is not well programmed and do strange things. So you can follow the yellow line to your best criteria, okay? And I emphasize that, your best criteria. Okay, so we'll release the parking brakes, and now we have the throttle in idle position. That will be enough to make our aircraft move smoothly and softly, which is, by the way, what we have to do, because this is not an F1 race car. So we will move our aircraft slowly, and we will proceed with the taxi. Okay, we are not Ayrton Senna, we are not Michael Schumacher, and we are not Niki Lauda. So we are going slowly through the runway. Okay. Here you can see an Iberia aircraft with the old logo. I am very sorry that British Airways changed the logo, because the new logo is ugly as hell. But well, that was very beautiful, the old logo with the Spanish flag, okay, colors, which is very nice, or almost the Spanish flag colors, okay. And we will be following in the yellow line. As you can see, do strange things. For that reason, I told you already to follow yellow line to your best criteria, okay. And we continue listening the people talking in the background. You can see that the green text there, so that is the radio communications to other aircraft, and we will be following the yellow line to proceed with the taxi and to depart. And I find interesting that when we proceed with the taxi, we talk also about aeronautical charts. And one thing is that a real pilot needs basically 4 different charts normally, which is the departure chart, standard instrumental departure, SID, and then a normal pilot use the en route, then the start chart, which is the arrival chart, and then finally use the IAC chart, which is the instrumental approach chart. And basically a pilot uses normally 4 charts, and also more charts to gather more useful information, as for example the airport chart, etc. So flying an aircraft is not so easy as entering the road. A real pilot needs more charts, because when you are departing from a certain airport, you need to leave the airport in a proper way, okay? And to do that, you need several charts. It's not so easy as entering the flight plan. Also, a very important thing you need to know is you have to consult the NOTAM, Notice to Airmen information. I like that name because it could be also Notice to Airmen. Wait, just men, okay? But well, Notice to Airmen information is the way it has, even if I don't like it very much, and you have to consult that, okay? You can see air traffic there on the right now, okay, that's very nice. And okay, if you were flying a real aircraft, you will have probably to consult the NOTAM, which are also Notice to Airmen, very useful information to tell you if the zones in which you are flying, we have military staff there, or if you have risky zones, etc. So normally a real pilot will consult also the NOTAMs, okay? But this is not a real flight, okay? This is a simulator, so we are safe and we don't have to do that, okay? I think there are different levels in which you can understand what a simulator is, and you can understand it as a gamer, or you can understand it as a real pilot. But well, there are several levels in which you can take this more seriously or more relaxed, okay? We are relaxed here, we don't like nervous here. So we continue following the yellow line to follow our taxi, because we are going to the runway 02, okay? We are proceeding with the taxi little by little. You can see there the Spanish airport. A very funny thing you can see is that this airport was created in 2009. I have been installing airports, so you can see better graphics than the default graphics of X-plane. And you can see there the cranes, the construction cranes there. And that's very funny because this airport was created in 2009. At the time, people thought that creating thousands of flats will make the people rich, okay, getting a lot of credits from banks, and finally the international crisis exploded. You remember in the United States what happened with Lehman Brothers and all those things, and then the bomb exploded and came to Spain. So you can see there again of historic things, the construction cranes, okay, and finally a lot of unemployment came here in Spain and a lot of problems. So and the crisis is international. You can see there also in the United States, and here as you can see there we're going to the runway 02. I don't know if you have seen that because I'm talking right now about irrelevant things, but well, anyway, you can see there, and we will stop there. You can see the yellow line stop there. Why? Because we have to cross the runway, and that is risky, and we will have to ask the controller to do that. So we have to contact the tower, the controller, okay, and that is a frequency. So we will have to tune up that to tune in that frequency and to contact the controller. Okay, and that's exactly what we'll do right now. We'll press the parking brakes to hold the aircraft, and we will be contacting the tower, and the tower will be giving us authorization to cross the runway. Okay, so as I told you, we have stopped the aircraft. We have activated right now the parking brakes, and also we will contact the tower. Is what we will be doing right now. Okay, and right now we are doing that. We'll control it that. Okay, we will move that frequency which is in reserve to the active frequency. Okay, and now we have that frequency as active frequency, and we see that COM1, communication 1. Okay, remember communication frequencies is to talk with people, and we are talking with the controller. We are contacting the controller right now, and the controller will give us authorization to cross the runway 02. Okay, and we are crossing the runway 02, which is, by the way, the runway we are departing from, because we have to cross the runway to enter that runway from the rear side. Okay, I don't know if I did explain it here, but we have to cross that runway because we are entering from the rear. Okay, so we have to cross the 02 runway, and we asked for authorization. Remember, we have holding our aircraft with the parking brakes, and now we'll release the parking brakes. You can see the parking brakes are activated. So if we press B in our keyboard, we will release the parking brakes, and when we release the parking brakes, we can use again the little power that has our engines to cross the runway, and then we'll move forward little by little, and we will enter from the rear. And when we will enter from the rear, we will be doing several things, okay, as configuring properly autopilot. Configuring properly the autopilot concentration is absolutely necessary. Okay, we have an exterior view that is a runway. Okay, we'll be crossing it very soon. As soon as we release the parking brakes, you can see there the tower. Okay, so this is a special airport, as I told you, that I have installed. Okay, the default airport of X-Plane is more silly, don't have so much detail. Okay, so if we press B, as I said, we will release B in our keyboard. We will release our parking brakes, and we will be moving forward little by little. Okay, crossing the 02 runway before we depart with our aircraft. Okay, and we'll be moving forward little by little, following again the yellow line, and as I told you, we will be following the yellow line to our best criteria. Okay, because the algorithm, the computer program itself, X-Plane, is doing strange things, strange paths. Okay, so we'll be following the yellow line. And remember, this is not a Porsche. Okay, and we are moving softly. Okay, So we can take a look with our virtual cockpit. And by the way, Stefan Buon, which is the creator of this aircraft, did a monumental work and amazing work. Really, that is a great contribution for the X-Plane community. I think many people have to thank him to create this amazing aircraft. And as you can see, we see the yellow line turning right, so we'll be turning right because, as I told you, we will be entering from the rear to access the runway 02. That, as I told you, 02 mean exactly that runway has a 02 hidden. Okay. Later on, we will be explaining what is magnetic declination, which is a very interesting thing because numbers from runways can change from time to time, okay, according to magnetic declination. But we won't deal with that right now. Right now, we have more important things to do, like configuring the autopilot, okay. And now we are accessing the runway. We are accessing the runway very carefully because we don't want to have an accident if we have incoming traffic. So as you can see, before entering the runway, the controller is telling us that we are clear to take off, or cleared for takeoff. That is that we can proceed to depart from the runway, okay, and the controller is giving us authorization. Also, we read back that instruction because when the controller is talking to you, you need to read back the instructions and to repeat the instructions, the controller instructions, to let him know that you know everything he told you, okay. So we will be entering very soon in the runway, and our next thing, the next mission we will do is to align your aircraft properly with our runway, okay. So we'll be entering softly and also taking a look that we don't have air traffic, for example, close to us landing. I thought we can be safe because the ATC tool has that we can entering without any problem to the runway, okay. So we'll be entering very softly, as you can see that there, and we will be aligning our aircraft to the runway, taking as a reference the number of the runway, okay. And now we do this, we will proceed to configure the airplane or the aircraft properly to start with the takeoff. So one thing we will do right now is to hold our aircraft activating the parking brakes, and we will do what we don't have to do in real life, that is taking a lot of time in the runway explaining things, okay. But because this is a simulation, we will take our time to explain how to configure our aircraft properly, okay. You can see, but in real life you won't have to do that. You will have to depart as soon as possible because we don't want to delay the air traffic, okay. So coming back to our cockpit and having in mind this is not a real life, and we don't have to be so strict as in real life. We can talk a bit and discuss a bit about how to configure the autopilot in the aircraft, okay, and how to configure the systems to make our aircraft proceed or start with the takeoff, okay. We can see our flaps are set up to takeoff position, and our trim is also set up our takeoff position, and also very important, our altitude is 11 feet, will be 11 feet, and our vertical speed, very important, will be 1000 feet, because if we don't set up the vertical speed, the aircraft won't ascend or descend. If we have a negative number in the vertical speed, it will descend, and if we have a positive number, it will ascend. And also we have to set up the elevation, the altitude, okay. We can set up also the speed. We have selected the speed, 250 knots, and remember what we said about flight director and autopilot. It's absolutely necessary. And also we will have to press the auto throttle button to hold the speed, to maintain the speed, and that is the speed, as we said, program, okay. So if we press map, we can again gather up interesting information of things close to us, Okay, and we can move through different pages. For example, this navigation page. Okay, we can move also to map page, VOR page, several pages. Okay, that's very interesting. I don't want to complicate the things with that. I only want to show you a bit what we have in the information screen. And in screen, that red line, as I said, is our flight plan. Okay, so that is the thing we'll be doing right now. There's a map. As you can see there, close points to us. The yellow, the triangles are the waypoints. That is a red line. We can zoom the map in or zoom it out, so we can have all the relevant information close to us we need. Okay, if we go back again to the other screen, we can select also our heading. And the good thing when we are departing from an airport is to depart with the heading of that runway. So if our runway was 02, our heading will be 020. Okay, so we will place we'll configure our heading as 020. That is a straight line. Okay, so just align the magenta line with the white line, and let's depart in a straight line, and then we will move forward with our flight plan, talk with the controller, and follow the controller instructions and stuff. Okay, but the first thing we must do is to depart with the straight line. Okay, and now the departing heading will be 021. Well, it is 020. It's we have an error of 1 degree, but that is almost anything, so we don't have to worry. 020. Okay, 021. So we will be departing in a straight line. Okay, we won't hold that course, that heading many times, because we will immediately, as soon we depart, we'll be switching to our flight plan. We have parking brakes activated. You can see that there. And a very good thing to do is to proceed with the checklist, and you have a checklist button, so you can move forward or backward with the checklist pages. And we have that the after start at engine, start at page, after start at before taxi. That is not relevant to us because we did the taxi, and that is the cool thing for us right now. Line up, takeoff. So we will check out the things. Landing lights on, strobes lights on, squawk. We have to set the transponder in XPDR position. So we'll move the transponder to that position, XPDR. Okay, is what we'll do right now to continue with the checklist, which is completely necessary. Okay, and we will be continue with the checklist, which is quite simple, and it is indicated it is also indicating us the speed in which we have to rotate, that is to move the aircraft nose up to make it fly. Okay, so as you can see, the checklist there is so easy as to ride a bicycle. It's very basic. Okay, and for sure the real aircraft will have a more complicated and more complex checklist, and that area is the autopilot area. You can see the autopilot area there. Of course, I am showing you also an exterior view of the aircraft also, to allow you to light a bit with the graphics, the X-Plane graphics, which are extremely amazing. X-Plane is a very fast simulator. I really love that because you can feel the adrenaline flying, and you don't need a NASA supercomputer to run it, so it is very nice. Although I have to confess, my computer is a very powerful one, but you don't need an extremely powerful computer. And there we have United Airlines. We have United Airlines that is waiting for us. Probably the pilots of the United Airlines want to kill us because we are taking a lot of time, and the passengers are infuriated and very angry. But we have to take a lot of time explaining things, because right now we have to explain how to take off. Okay, so that is the exterior view of our aircraft from different angles. I hope you like it. And this aircraft from Stefan Buon has many liveries, so you can enjoy many different things, even from Virgin Atlantic. Okay, if we go back again to the cockpit, we have basically everything configured. Now what we have to deal with the autopilot area. If we press the FD button, that is the flight director, if we activate the flight director, we see that the altitude is also engaged, okay, and we will see that green marker there, that green indicator there, okay, and the altitude is in a yellow line because we did not, is in a yellow light because we did not reach that certain altitude. So let's say it is engaged, and let's say it is ready to achieve that altitude, okay. So we are pressing the flight director button, which is absolutely necessary to start with the autopilot, okay. Then we will press our hidden button that will help us to maintain the course we have entered before, that is 021, okay. After we do that, we will continue configuring more things. Remember, the N1 values are in a 30 something value, okay. Our throttle is at the idle position. Soon we will be departing. I tell you that I will be starting with the pilot's call outs. That is the things that pilots are telling to other pilots, so I won't be able to explain you things because I will be doing the call outs, okay. When I will be doing the call outs, I will basically shut up and I will be just telling things as if I had other pilots close to me, okay, and I won't be able basically to explain you more, but we will continue explaining things later on, okay. So those are the N1 values of for our engines, okay. And we have 38%. We have the train to take off position. We have the flaps to take off position. Our fuel is cool. It's very nice. We have everything fine. Our autopilot is almost set up. We have the flight director activated. We have the heating activated, and we have also the altitude activated. Okay. That is our gear. Okay. That we will release it very soon as we take off. And one thing I like in joysticks, by the way, is because to fly an aircraft you need basically a joystick. That is the autopilot, by the way, is that a joystick has a lot of buttons, because if the joystick has a lot of buttons, I can configure those buttons to proceed with complex tasks that I won't be able to proceed to those tasks easily in a keyboard, because a keyboard has many keys and you can get confused. So sometimes it's very nice that you have a joystick with a lot of buttons that you can program, at least to proceed with important tasks as activating the autopilot or the flight director or the auto throttle, different things, okay. So we will be departing from Barcelona very soon, okay. We have almost everything configured. We have the heating, and that thing you can see also is the interior light, okay. Right now we don't see that very well because we have sun there, and we cannot see that very well right now, but at night you can configure also the intensity of the interior light of the aircraft. And right now we have to be very concentrated, okay, because many things will happen in a very short period of time. So right now I cannot explain more, and I will proceed with the call outs that will start now. Parking brakes, release. Ready to go? Power set. Check. I have control. P1. Rotate. Positive climb. Check. Gear up. Flaps up. Check. Autopilot on. Check. Navigation. Navigating. Okay, as you can see, we'll activate the auto throttle also. Auto throttle is on. Check. Okay, as you can see, you have to check out many systems, many things when you are departing from an aircraft, from an airport. Okay, and you have to control those things in your aircraft. As you can see, I cannot read everything, I cannot read every text, and I cannot explain everything because I only have one mouth and I cannot do a lot of things at the same time. When you depart, the first thing the ATC will tell you is to contact your center, and that is the people that will be controlling your aircraft. But one thing we will do right now is to activate our flight plan. So we will switch the source from nav 1 to GPS, see the eyes there, and press the nav button. And when you press the nav button, you're down. You're following right now the red line from your flight plan. So you will be following your flight plan, and also we have to contact. You will have to contact the center at the frequency they told us. Okay, that is what is 135.95. 135.95. We have to tune in that frequency. Okay, and put it as from reserve as active frequency, and then contact the center that will follow flight. Okay, that's very necessary because they will be giving us useful information as you can see there right now, altimeter calibration, okay, which is very important. I won't deal right now, and I won't explain what is a TA, transition altitude. It will be interesting to explain it, but well, I won't explain that about what are transition altitudes, airspaces, and whole different authorities deal with that, because we will have to explain a lot of things. But well, the thing I showed you a bit before was the horizontal component. We will talk about that later on, and that is a flight plan, and that triangle is our aircraft. Don't confuse that aircraft, that is by the way the information area. Don't confuse our aircraft, that triangle, with the other little triangles, which are waypoints or fixes. Okay, and this is the cool thing of using X-Plane. The cool thing is the amazing graphics it has. Okay, have in mind, X-Plane has 57 gigabytes. Have 57 gigabytes of textures, of high quality textures to delight your eyes. Okay, so it's the cool thing of X-Plane. Of course, it has failures. It don't have cool things, in other things, but in general, the simulator is amazing. Okay, if we press those buttons, we can remove information, and we can put just interesting information. For example, I just did set up to show the screen the closed airports, and you can see there the different headings. The dot line is on heading, and the yellow and the red line is a flight plan, and we are following a flight plan. Okay, so everything is fine and configured properly right now. Those are closed airports, and you can see that there, and there is a compass. Okay, because remember, our aircraft is a point in the center of a circle, and you can move it around 360 degrees. It's basically as you, if you stand up and you move around doing a circle, you move to 360 degrees. Okay, it's like your aircraft or you both are a point that can move doing a perfect circle of 360 degrees. Okay, and now we don't have to deal with technical explanation again. We just can enjoy the views, okay, of the site. This flight is very nice because we are going to the French Riviera, which I really like. Also, we are flying through the coast, which is quite nice. It's early in the morning, so we can enjoy the sun. Okay, and we have the water there, the sun reflection there. Okay, we could cancel the IFR if we wanted to. IFR stands for Instrumental Flight Rules, by the way. And this is an exterior view, so we have a aircraft coming to us and departing. Okay, that is very nice. Also, observe the high quality textures, which are amazing. Okay, and now Meteo must improve a bit in X-Plane also. Basically, the simulation is incredible. Yeah? I mean, the sun, it is absolutely amazing. And that thing is a North American and used aircraft carrier close to Catalunya in Spain. Okay, don't expect me I like those things, because well, I can be a pacifist. I'm scared of guns. I don't like guns. And perhaps in that way I'm very European, but I don't like guns at all. So I prefer peace to war. Okay, but to show you the graphical capabilities of the simulator, it's enough. Okay? I remember watching many videos. I remember so I think it was a senior pilot from Lufthansa that was flying a full flight simulator, and when he finished the simulation, he said game over. And that thing of game over is very interesting, because I think even full flight simulators or this, which is a simulator, of course they are very real, they are very accurate, they are very useful, and they are very necessary. But one thing is this, and another thing is to deal with a real situation in the real life. Okay, so I think for that reason that pilot from Lufthansa, I think it was said game over. Okay, because this is basically also a game. Okay, even if it is very real, and if I don't remember well, X-plane is certified by the American authorities, the aviation authorities. So this is a very serious stuff. This is a very serious thing. Okay. Okay, one thing we can do is not to be bored and to take a look to our checklist. And because I was talking to you, I was forgetting things. Okay, and I have to turn off the landing lights. Also because I am a human being, and because I am a human being, I cannot do a lot of things at the same time, to talk with you and check out the systems and everything. So you have to excuse me a bit. As you can see, we have 0 degrees. I have it in Celsius. I'm sorry, I'm not using Fahrenheit. Okay, I have it in Celsius, but we have 0 degrees, and our aircraft, the exterior zones of our aircraft can freeze. So we have to activate the anti-ice. Okay, another cool thing we can do also is to check out the checklist, which is what we did right now. We have set up the anti-ice. That is very important, because if you don't set up the anti-ice, the problem you can have is that the exterior zones can get ice, and for example the yaw could fail, or the ailerons or the flaps, and you can face very complicated situations out there. So it's important to activate properly the anti-ice and to check out the exterior temperature. Okay, and that thing I told you before, that is up to 0.16 heating, which is our actual heating, is where our actual course is the horizontal component. We will be talking about the horizontal component and also vertical component when we will be dealing, when we will be taking or proceeding with our ILS landing. Okay, so that is the rear side of our aircraft, the people there, or the people that is not there. And we will be moving from the cockpit, which is the cool thing that we can do in X-plane, that we can have absolute movement freedom. Because it is a light aircraft, it is a jet, the equivalent, let's say the modern equivalent to the Learjet flight simulator. Because it is a modern aircraft, we have there an amazing view from the rear side, from the rear seats. We can see there also a very funny newspaper talking about the financial crisis, the Financial Times, talking about the explosion of Lehman Brothers right now. So it's curious, but this aircraft has a lot of things from the economical crisis. Okay, and I don't know if you listen to that sound, but if you listen to that sound, is that the aircraft is almost reaching the program altitude, and our program altitude was 11,000 feet. So it is very close to it. Okay, and it is giving us that little alarm. Okay, so we are in the cockpit, and basically everything is programmed. That thing is the horizontal component. Okay, and that means that we will be following a flight plan. That is a current altitude, and that is a ascent rate. Okay, and that is our program speed, 280 knots. Okay. The brown thing is the ground, and the blue thing is the sky. We have -7 degrees there. Okay, and that thing is the feet per minute that is ascending or descending. Right now you see 0 because we are reaching our flight altitude. And the red line, as I said before, that is a flight plan. Okay. And that thing is the next point in our flight plan. We will be arriving. So we will be arriving to the VGR, VOR, okay, and we are to a distance of 10.8 nautical miles. And we know that because that VOR has something installed that it is called DME, and that is distant measure equipment. And the distant measure equipment is a system that is installed in the VOR that is telling our distance from the VOR to the VOR. Okay, and what is a VOR or an NDB? A VOR or an NDB is a radio station that allow us to go to that radio station. Okay, so we can use a VOR to orientate our plane to the VOR. Okay, remember what we said about the center that is controlling our aircraft, and the center is telling us a new value for the altimeter calibration. It is very important we have always our altimeter well calibrated to know always the proper values in our altitude. What happens if you are flying without ATC? How do you get that information? Well, very simple, with the ATs. Okay, because every single airport has an ATs. So you only have to check out your information area or your computer area, the center screen, and you can see there the closed airports, and then you can gather up the proper information about frequencies for the ATs and get the altimeter calibration. So, well, I was telling you about VORs and VORs radio stations that are placed on the ground. Okay, and your aircraft will use those radio stations to orientate to the VOR. A VOR basically is like if you had a compass placed in the ground, and every single line, those little lines which are degrees in the compass in a VOR, those things are called radials. And what your aircraft will do when you are tuning in a VOR is that you can enter in a to or flying to a certain radial from your VOR and departing from a certain radial also of your VOR. So you can fly to a certain radial of your VOR or departing from a certain radial of your VOR. Okay, I want to make the tutorials about this in English. The bad thing about this is I have already a very cool video tutorial of 3 hours explaining extensively how to fly with VORs and what VORs are, and the bad news it is Spanish. I'm sorry for that, because well, basically my channel was initially for to create video tutorials in Spanish, but also I know many people from the United States, especially from California, and also from Florida. Many people from Florida and California and the United States are watching my video tutorials, so I knew I had to do something about this, and I thought that the next video tutorials will have to be also in English. So I want to say hello also to the people in California that is taking the time, that is taking the patience to watch my video tutorials, and also to all the people in Florida. I really appreciate your loyalty. I really appreciate that. Also, I know many people from Texas watch my video tutorials. Howdy, Texas. And I also want to thank you, many people in the United States that have the patience and the patience and the loyalty to come here to watch my videos. So thank you very much. Many people also in the United Kingdom, many people also in Australia, even from Japan, and in many parts of Europe, in Germany, many places. So I want to send a big hug to everyone in a world in which every single people in this world is so cold, so I think people need more hacks, and I am sending a lot of hacks to everyone. So hacks for everyone that are watching, to all the people that are watching my videos. The very nice thing of this flight is we are departing from the ground basically, and we are entering to the sea. And when we will enter in the sea, we will experience a certain moment in which we will lose contact with the ground. We won't see the ground there. We will see just water, and then we will be going back again to the ground, and we will see Iceland there and close to Marseille, and you will see that. And it is a very beautiful flight. You will see that. So the French Riviera is very nice to fly there. And well, we are going perfectly right now. We have everything configured smoothly. Everything is fine. When we were flying with this aircraft, I did not want to set up meteor information. I did not want to set up difficult meteorological conditions, because I wanted to proceed with a smooth landing without having to deal with complex situations as for example, wind, as for example, rain, because that will force us to change the proper speeds to land, and will force us to check out again the recommended speeds to land and so on. So I just wanted to do a normal flight to allow you to enjoy what is a normal flight in normal flight conditions, in normal meteorological conditions. That is a monochrome artifact, which is the FMC or FMS if you prefer, flight management system or flight management control, flight management computer, FMC. And basically we can move outside the aircraft. What is that? What are we doing here? Okay, we can move outside the aircraft. That is the freedom of movement that allow us X-plane. Okay, and I am doing that with the cursor arrows of my keyboard, so I can move outside, and you can see that there. Okay, and right now our aircraft is turning to the left side because we are following the next point of a flight plan. Okay, and we can see very clearly the red line. So for that reason, in the central monitor, the information monitor, we can that act as a kind of ACAS and also as a kind of ND, navigation display. So we have it as a navigation display. I am showing you this aircraft has similar systems to Boeing aircraft, but many aircrafts are the same. When you fly a Boeing, basically Airbus is basically the same, Learjet is basically the same, everything is basically the same. Everyone has certain systems more advanced, but basically it's the same. I prefer Boeings instead Airbuses. Even if I am European, I prefer American aircraft. I don't know why. I prefer the American style when we're flying aircraft. Airbuses are so automated that, oh my god, and very nice planes. I will probably also create tutorials with Airbuses, but if I have a Boeing, I will ride a Boeing better. I prefer that. Well, okay, I am showing you the red line, which is a flight plan, and as you can see, we are very close to our destination. So we will have now to face and deal important things as arriving to the destination airport. Also proceed with the descending and landing checklist, which is very important also, and we'll have to deal with the proper speeds we have to configure for our aircraft, and also we have to proceed with the ILS landing, which is not complicated, but you have to understand some interesting or basic things about it. And well, we'll have to deal with those things very soon. So one thing we will be doing right now is taking a look to our systems, as you can see, and our anti-ice system, as we said, is -7 degrees. Okay, when I was doing this video tutorial, you can find several things. For example, you have seen I have activated again the anti-ice, and I had it already activated. Why is this happening? Well, this is happening because this video tutorial took a whole month to mount it in the audio and the video editing process with several software. So the work to create this video tutorial was monumental. It represented an extremely hard work, and probably you will find minor defects in the video tutorial, as finding different transponder codes or finding some systems that are not activated and then I activate those systems. Why do you find that? Well, you find that because the controller is giving us new altimeter calibration. We know we have it already calibrated to that value, so we don't have to do anything, just read back the transmission. Okay, well, and anyway, I was telling you that this was recorded in several parts or several takes. Okay, so for that reason you could find those minor defects or those minor errors. Okay, I already know those errors and are not defects of this video tutorial. It's just it's simple that we had to record the video tutorial in several parts, and I was completely unable to because, well, if when you're in a saving situation and explain is not remembering exactly, also all the systems were configured, and sometimes perhaps if I forget a little thing, you will have to excuse me. Okay, this represents also a monumental work. Just speaking 2 hours a foreign language destroy your throat, I promise you that. Okay, so be patient with me, please. Okay, I'm showing you also, as we said, the navigation display, because that central screen has several purposes. We can show NDVs, we can show VORs, we can show air traffic, we can show also airports, we can show many things there, waypoints. Okay, so that is important. You can add or remove information. If I am not following a VOR right now, why do I need to show a VOR? I prefer to show the close airports to me and not to make a kind of a strange soup, as we will say in Spanish, a strange gazpacho, which is very typical Spanish soup. Very nice for summer, very cool. And we don't like to create a kind of gazpacho, okay, of a strange soup there, and we prefer to maintain the screen clean. Okay, so we are going to deep go. Okay, to be honest, we will say that in NATO radiophonic alphabet. I won't use NATO alphabetic radiophonic alphabet because I won't be dealing with that. I told you the NATO radiophonic alphabet, so you can learn it. I said did go, but we won't have to do that. We'll sure use the NATO radiophonic alphabet. Okay. As I told you before, that is our aircraft outside, and we cannot see ground. We are in the middle of nothing, in the middle of the water. Okay. But very soon we will be closing to our airport at Marseille, Provence. Okay. So very soon we will be dealing with the charts. We will understand important things, for example, what are minimums and those things. And because we are close to arrive to our destination, in 30 minutes more or less we will arrive to our destination, a good thing is to understand or to take a look to the descent approach checklist. Okay, and we will have to control many things as altitude, flight level, radio navigation, FMS, anti-ice barometer calibration, landing lights, and also very important, and this is very important, to understand the speed in which we will approach to the runway, and that is around 120 knots. Okay, and also how to configure properly our flaps, because if we don't have configured well our flaps, we can face strange things when we will be arriving at our destination airport. For example, we can find the aircraft is doing strange things. Okay, we will deal with that very soon. Okay, the controller is telling us to descend 7,000 feet. That is that we are close to our destination. We are arriving in 30 minutes more or less. So the controller is telling us to descend to 7,000 feet. And we are programming the altitude to 7,000 feet, as you can see there. But the aircraft do not descend. And why is this happening? This is happening because we are not selecting yet the vertical speed. And in this case, we will have to select. We have that 7,000 already. The ATC is very disturbing, telling you the things 2,000 millions of times. So you must have a bit of patience with the ATC. Okay. Okay, we will be selecting the vertical speed, and we have selected a negative number. Okay, that is minus 1,000. That is that we will be descending 1,000 feet per minute. So basically, in 4 minutes, we will be to 7,000 feet because we were to 11,000 feet and we are descending to 7,000 feet. So in 4 minutes, more or less, we will be arriving 7,000 feet because we are descending 1,000 feet per minute. I like that descent. Another pilot more aggressive would like to descend, for example, to 1,500 feet, and another pilot very conservative and very bored would like to descend to 700,000 feet per minute. I prefer 1,000 feet because I find that descending rate more reasonable. When we will be dealing with BORDMA approaches, which I want to do some video tutorials about that, and we will have to follow certain descent rates and we will have to enter certain values. Okay, but because we are not using a gradient right now, and because we are not using right now an instrumental approach chart in which we have to follow a certain gradient, in which we have to follow a certain descent rate, we won't have to worry about that. The only we have to worry right now is about 120 knots for the descending speed, and to have in mind the different checklists we have to deal. If I do some errors when I am speaking, I have millions of things in my brain. I am speaking in foreign language, so I ask for your patience if I do some mistakes. Okay, it's my bad. I'm very sorry, but well, I know you can understand every single thing I'm saying, or at least I try that. Okay, you can see there's some kind of ground there. You can see there some islands or the coast, the French coast, and that is the French Riviera. Okay, where the Ferraris are and the Lamborghinis and everything there, and the rich people. So we are arriving there. Okay, to Marseille, Provence. And the air controller told us right now to descend to 3,000 feet is what we will do very soon. And you can see several parts of our primary flight display, also the horizontal component. And now you can see we are descending to the altitude that the ATC, air traffic controller, told us. You can see there are different information. As you may know, I cannot read every single test I am telling you there. But we have to understand something that I told you that before, and that is the ATC told us to land in a different runway. Okay, we are selecting right now our heating to 040 degrees. Okay, and I was telling you an explanation before about magnetic declination. Okay, or if not, I will be telling you very soon an explanation about magnetic declination. And what is happening with magnetic declination? Well, magnetic declination is that from time to time the heating of the airport runways change. to the magnetic declination. Okay, that is a bit complex to talk about that. I prefer you read information about Wikipedia, because if I had to explain you that, we'll have to stop the simulation a lot of time and talk and explain everything. So I prefer you take a look to information, but the only you have to remember is from time to time the heating of the runways change due to magnetic declination. Well, right now, sorry, we are taking a look to the instrumental approach chart from Marseille Provence. That alarm is we are reaching our altitude, and well, there we see a very interesting thing which is called minimums. Okay, minimums is an altitude in which if you do not see the runway, you have to frustrate the landing and to depart from the aircraft. Okay. And as you can see, we are receiving right now repeater calibration. But as you can see, the air traffic controller told us to land in the 32 right runway, and we don't have 32 right runway in an airport, and that happened because I did install an airport which is not updated. I did not update that airport, the information about that airport, because I wanted to show you and I wanted to explain you what is magnetic declination. So if you install an airport and it is old, perhaps you will need to update its information. And remember that course heating of the runways are changing from time to time to do the magnetic declination. And in minimums, we were talking about minimums. That means that when you arrive to a certain altitude, you cannot see and if you cannot see the runway, you have to frustrate the landing. And you can have different minimums or a common minimums to certain categories. And what is a category? A category is like boxing. Okay, probably you know that professional boxers have categories of weight. Well, with the aircraft happen the same. They have categories about the speed. For example, if the aircraft maker recommend you to land this artifact, this aircraft, to a certain speed, and according to that speed, those speeds are organized in categories: A category, B category, C category, etc. Like boxers and in professional boxing, the fighters are organized in weight categories. Okay, so you have basically the same. Well, the air traffic controller is telling us, sorry, that we maintain 2,000 feet and we move to 130 heating. And we will do right now. We will do that right now. So I was telling you about categories. Yes, in aircraft we have speed categories. Okay, so we have several categories: A, B, C. And what happened with that? What happened that normally your aircraft will enter into a category, let's say A category, but probably tomorrow your aircraft will have to move to other category because, for example, you will have to land it to a different speed according your payload or according the runway conditions. So it is normal that today you be in a certain category and tomorrow you be in another different category. Okay, so that could happen to your aircraft. And what we have seen there is we have minimums common for every single category, A, B, C, D. Okay, but it could be possible also to have minimums for a certain category. Just for a certain category. Okay. We are right now activating the vertical speed. Again, we are descending 1,000 feet. Remember, you have to have a lot of patience with the ATC that is repeating the things constantly. Sometimes I want to kill it. I please ask Laminar Research to create a better ATC also, because this monumental work, this amazing simulator, really need a better ATC that also give you vectors for ILS, that also give you vectors for BOR DME approaches. And as I promised you in the beginning of this video tutorial, the flight will be cool. And it's a very nice flight because you can see Iceland there, you can see the coast there, it's very nice. Okay, I'm reducing the speed because this is not a roller coaster, okay, and this is not also a Formula 1 car. Even if it is going very fast, we have to proceed with a smooth approach and a smooth and soft landing. And for that reason we have to configure it to proper speeds. We don't have right now 120 knots because we are arriving, but we are not very close to our destination airport, so 180 knots will be okay. But when we reach a certain altitude, 2,000 feet more or less, we will proceed, we will have the proper approach speed, which is 120 knots. Okay, and we are checking out that in our checklist. Okay, so we can enjoy a bit the views.
November,
We have a little
02,
island there.
Papa. You're off
We
course.
can take a look to the island there. If we zoom it,
November
we
3,
can
1,
take
Sierra
a
Lima.
look.
Fly heading 040.
That is the good thing, that you have a lot of freedom here.
Heading
And
040.
the green lines, as you may know, is
Sierra Lima.
so the traffic. Can you see the road there with the cars moving? Okay, that's the good thing of X-Plane,
November
that you can
02, X-ray.
you
Papa,
can see
Lima,
also
Foxtrot,
real
Mike,
cars
Lima,
and
altimeter
roads
2,
and everything.
niner,
Okay,
2.
the air traffic controller is telling us to move to our heading to 040. Okay, and it's what we are doing right now. Because basically the controller, what it's doing right now is putting our aircraft in front of the runways. Okay, and that is what we are doing right now by selecting that heading that the ATC air traffic controller told us. Okay, so we are basically right now to 160 knots, 150 knots. We have programmed 150, 140 knots more or less. And what happens if we are in lower speed, and we don't apply flaps? What happens is what you saw, that the aircraft nose is going up, and that is risky because we can stall. Okay, I invite you to get more information about the stall and the risks that represent a stall if your aircraft is stalled. Okay, because you can lose fuel in your engines and the aircraft can lose the control. Okay, so it's always very important, very necessary, compulsory, let's say, to maintain the proper speed and also the proper configuration of flaps. And for that you have to read the checklist. And I did not know if I told you that you have to read your checklist. So always you have to read your checklist. And if you want me, I can repeat it again. You must read your checklist. Okay, always. That is very important. We have an exterior view again, and the air traffic controller is telling us again to correct our heading. We are moving forward 340 heading, and that is what we'll be doing right now. Okay, we're telling November 310 Lima, which is our tail number. Okay, and we will be moving to the heading that is telling us the controller, and we are very close to Marseille Provence. Okay. Okay, so as you can see, we are reaching right now. We are configuring our speed as it should be, 120 knots. Okay, that is what we need before landing, and when we be very close to the runway, we are activating the gear down. We have the gear down, right now activated. If we were doing properly the call outs right now, I will tell gear down, and the other pilot will say check. Okay, so that is what we should do right now at this particular moment. Gear down, check. Okay, right now I cannot do the call outs. I will do the call outs later on. Okay, this another little defect you can find in this video tutorial, because right now you see that I am activating the gear down, and later on you will see in the landing I have the gear up, and I get out again I get out the gear. I activate again, the gear down. And why is that happening? Well, that is happening because this video tutorial was recorded in 3 or 4 parts and took a whole month of intense and monumental audio and video editing work. Okay. So for that reason, you will find those minor defects, but are not important defects and do not affect at all the result of the simulation and the result of the flight. Okay? So again, I'm showing you the ND navigation display, which is telling us I have the approach view right now, and this view is more accurate because we will be able to. Okay, the controller is telling us, the controller is telling us to move forward, hitting 310 and report when we have the field inside. Okay, so that is what we will do right now. And I was showing you, as I told you, in the center of the screen, the navigation display, which gives us more accurate information. And with the approach view, and there you can see the runways. I don't know if you see that. So right now we have to report the field inside, and because we see the field inside, we report the field inside, and we read back the transmission to the controller, and now they will instruct us to control the tower to ask for authorization to land. Okay, in the video tutorial we are contacting to the tower, but you won't see that authorization because I really need right now, well, you know right now how we have to tune in the frequency and move it from reserve to active. Okay, but you won't see that the air traffic controller is telling us you are clear to land, because I right now need to cut the video and explain you more detail what an ILS landing is. Okay, an ILS landing is an instrumental landing system or a precision approach. And if we go to the local map, one thing I want to show you again is our airport, and those yellow and those blue things you see there are the ILS gyroscope, and every single, or the ILS path if you prefer, and I will show you what is the utility of that. Okay, and what that is your airport, and you know we have the frequencies, and that blue thing is our ILS, and what the aircraft will do is what you see there. The aircraft will follow the ILS localizer of a runway, which has a certain frequency. Every single runway has a frequency, and the aircraft will follow that frequency. And basically, the aircraft will be doing every single thing automatically. It will align left to right or right to left automatically, and it will descend also automatically. And we will know that because we will be selecting the ILS of our runway, which has a certain frequency, and we will have to tune in that frequency in navigation 1 radio. Okay, and also a very important thing we must know is that ILS also are grouped into categories, and we have category 1, category 2, category 3, and category 3 has several also subcategories A, B, C. Okay, so this is the important thing you have to know about ILS, that are also grouped into categories. A category 1 is the most standard category. You can read also the information given you, and we are following for the Marseille Provence 31 right runway and ILS category 1, which is a very standard ILS. Okay, we have to move forward right now, and we have to select the ILS in our navigation 1 radio. We move the frequency from reserve to active, and when we do that, we switch the source from GPS to nav1, and then we just press approach, and we are down. So you can see there the horizontal component and the vertical component. Okay, I told you before. And right now we'll do the call outs. I won't be able to explain anything, so I will say landing gear down, check.
1000.
Full flaps, check. We can see an exterior view of the aircraft, and also we can see the roads with real traffic. We have trucks there, we have cars there. This is amazing. To the left side we have a train. Jet damper off, check. You see the train there on the left side? So we have real things there. Okay. won't be able to explain many things right now because I will be proceeding with the call outs. That will be the auto throttle off check. That will be the things a pilot is telling to the other pilot. Okay, let's take a look to the instrumental approach charts from the runway. We are going to land 31 right, and we see we have common minimums for every single category. Check. We have I said check for 500. Approach minimums
400.
Minimums. Continue. When we approach minimums, if we do not see the runway, we have to depart. Okay, we have to frustrate the landing. Well, I said we have common minimums for every single category. 360 feet. When we arrive 100 feet, we will move to manual flight, and we will land this.
100.
Manual flight.
50.
We
40,
will move the
30,
nose up
20,
slightly.
10.
And then when we touch the runway, we will cut the throttle, we'll put the throttle back, okay? And we will let the aircraft move itself 80 knots. We have to say 80 knots when we arrive at the speed because we will allow the aircraft move itself, reducing the speed gradually, and when we reach an acceptable speed, we will hold and release the brakes, sorry, not the parking brakes, the brakes. Okay, you will see that brakes alert, that brakes indication to the right side. You can see that right now, brakes, okay. And a cool thing I did, I think that was that I installed a plugin to audit the quality of my landing, and as you can see there, you can see acceptable landing. Okay, so that is for forum trolls. You know, forum trolls are strange creatures that are always right and have also a special reproduction habits. So I know there are many forum trolls that when you land an aircraft, they always tell you that your landing was hard, and it's always hard. And you cannot excuse anything with a troll because the troll is always right. So I had to do something about that, and I wanted to install a nice plugin that audited the quality of my landing, and there you have the quality of the landing. And I tell you, I warn you that this plugin is very hard, and to get a good landing is extremely difficult. Okay, so as a double landing is very nice. Okay, now a challenge we will do is to park this artifact, to park this thing, also called aircraft, to the parking zones in front of the control tower, but not using the yellow arrows, just using the airport charts, okay, and without ATC help, as a real pilot will do, basically, because a real pilot normally knows the zone he is flying, or try to know the zone and consult the charts and move through the airport streets or different roads inside the airports, and depart from the runway or park the aircraft. So what we will do right now is parking the aircraft without assistance or without help of the air traffic controller. Okay, so I think that is important because in real life many pilots do that, and we will be doing the same, because sometimes you probably will need to fly without ATC assistance, and probably you won't have the yellow lines to guide you. Okay, so what you see there is an exterior view of the control tower, and the exterior view of the control tower, you see many aircraft. You see also an Iberia aircraft with a beautiful logo, and later on, sadly, British Airways mangled that logo and destroyed it, creating a new logo, ugly as hell. But well, we are very proud of the old logo, please, because it shows also the Spanish flag colors. So we are very proud of it. I don't know why these people had to change that. Okay, okay, and as you can see from the control tower, you saw our aircraft, which is that little pointer, and then you can see that red arrow You will see also again another red arrow, and I was showing you the parking zone and the street in which we will access the parking zone. Okay, so we will start again with the taxi, releasing parking brakes and moving forward to the parking zone. So we're moving forward, as I said, to the parking zone. And remember, we will move slowly and softly until we reach the parking area. This is not a Formula 1 car, so we will go softly. Okay, we will follow the yellow line, as you can see it there, and the yellow line will separate into several lines, and we will follow, and that means that we will have to follow the line that is more convenient for us. Okay, in our case, we will be following the lines to park the aircraft. Okay, so a very good thing to do is also the taxi checklist, or the before landing checklist, because I was talking with you, I neglected to do things, and that is because I'm not paying the attention I should pay to the flight. So, and I am not doing that because I am here with you, talking with you. So right now what we will do, a bit late, but we will do it also, is to release the flaps and to configure the lights properly. So we have land light off, taxi and nav light off, strobe light off, and beacon lights on. Okay, following always the checklist. Okay, flaps are up, by the way, as you can see in your checklist monitor. Yeah, well, it is basically just one monitor, but they have several information areas, and we are following the yellow line to proceed with our taxi, and later on to park our aircraft. I am showing you exterior view of the aircraft. Okay, so probably because this aircraft is for people dealing with banks and financial systems and all those things, I hope they have a pleasant journey there in Marseille, Provence, and also a honest journey, because many people dealing with banks and dealing with loans and everything finally end with their bonds in the jail. So I have seen so many surprises in the news recently that I hope they have a honest journey, please. Okay, so we'll continue following the yellow lines, okay, to arrive to our parking zone. Okay, you can see there again an Iberia aircraft with a beautiful old logo. Okay, and I am showing you a chart of the airport. We will enter into the parking zone in the G4 street. I don't know if you see that there. And yes, we will enter in that zone, and then we will be following the yellow line, and then we will park our aircraft in the parking zone. Okay, so yes, we can see there are many aircraft. If you see the aircraft is trembling a bit, then increase the speed a bit fast, and then reduce it fast also, and you will observe that the aircraft is recovering normal behavior. Okay, so we continue following the yellow lines to go to our parking zone. We have there amazing side of the Marseille Provence airport. Also we have a beautiful Iberia aircraft with a beautiful and old Iberia logo that the British Airways removed, and I don't know why. We were very proud of that logo because it was showing the red colors of our flag. It's like if you remove the stripes and the stars from the North American flag, it will lose all the sense. So you cannot do that. That will be a crime. So you cannot remove the colors, please, of our airplane, because it is showing also our flag. Okay, we are very proud of that company, There are many amazing people working there. I know they were having very difficult moments, also for the pilots there and the crews there, working every single day, doing an amazing job. So there's a clear message to our president to hold the jobs there. So okay, we continue following the yellow line to park our aircraft. And right now, do you see the yellow line can continue straight and also move to the left side? So we will move to the left side because we will park our aircraft very soon. We are going very slowly. We are going right now, I don't know very well, 7.5 knots. We see there are also more traffic from United Airlines operating enormous aircraft as 747 aircrafts. Okay, we continue following the yellow line straight until we reach our parking zone. We'll go slowly also, as I said, because this is not a race car. And okay, even if we like Porsche, this is not a race car. Okay, do you see the red arrow? Is because we are going to park there. So we press the brakes and now softly we arrive to the horizontal line and we hold the parking brakes and our aircraft is parked. Okay, and I would like to show you also an exterior view of the aircraft right now. Observe before that we have activated the parking brakes, or the brakes are hold. So right now I will be showing you an exterior view of the aircraft, and I like to do that because I prefer you check out for yourself the quality of my parking. So I like to audit the things I do, to audit the quality of the things I do. And do you see the wheel there? It is in the center of the yellow line. So again, other thing from foreign throws. Okay, so you can see the parking of the aircraft there, and I think the parking is more or less well, it's acceptable. We go back again to the cockpit, and in the cockpit we have work to do. We continue having tasks to do. So the first thing we are going to do is to proceed with the most easy checklist you can face forever, and that is the shutdown checklist, which is all off a set brake that must be activated. So lights off, anti-ice off, everything off. Okay, and the power must be set up to idle. So we will put off also the generators, and we see in the screen there a little alert about regarding the generators. We continue having lights outside, okay, because also we have to shut down the electrical systems, and that is what we will be doing right now. So we continue in the cabin, in the cockpit, but we will right now stop the engines. And to stop the engines, I have configured a special key, Shift E, and you cannot shut down the engines by pressing the buttons we pressed before when we were starting them. You have to configure a special key. Please observe the N1 values to 0. That means that the engines don't have power. We see also some alerts there, which is normal, and we will cut the energy of the energy system just by pressing down the battery buttons, just to removing that. But before, we will close the transponder. So we are shutting down the transponder. We are opening the door also because now the people we have inside the aircraft will be picked up, for example, by a Mercedes. I cannot see the Mercedes there, or the Maybach, or the Rolls, or the Bentley, but well, allegedly we should have a car there to pick up the financial people we have inside the aircraft. Okay, so again, I hope they have an honest journey. And we go back to the cockpit. Okay, so we can have to continue shoot down more systems, and we are shooting down the batteries. So this is going to die, and basically the aircraft is died right now. We don't have electricity, all the systems are shut down, and the engines are also stopped. So now, if you allow me, I will move from the cockpit because I was 2 hours here with you flying since we depart from Barcelona, and I need to move the legs a bit. So I will be moving inside the aircraft, and as you can see, we have total freedom of movement, and we have so much freedom that we will cross the door and get outside the aircraft. Don't you believe me? Don't you believe me? Okay. We will cross the door. Do you want to see that? Okay, we are crossing the door, we are getting out, and right now we are in French, or in France, where we are walking in France, okay, and we are there. We're in the airport. We have an amazing sight from outside our aircraft. And as you can see, I'm standing up close to the aircraft. By the way, those two black things you see there are the pitot tubes, and that is very important because those little things measure the speed of your aircraft, okay? And if you don't hit them properly, your aircraft could face an accident because the autopilot will be completely crazy, because if you get ice in those little things, and the aircraft won't get real measurements about the speeds, okay? So hitting the pitot tubes is very important when you have complicated weather conditions. So again, we have a view, very beautiful sight from the control tower. You see all the heavy aircrafts there. Again, you can see a beautiful Iberia with the all beautiful logo that I don't know why they changed it. A view of my aircraft, of our aircraft. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the video tutorial and have fun. Bye.